Welcome back, everybody, to the Deep Dive. Today, we are going to be looking into Eli Lilly and their recent announcement of a stock buyback
Stock buyback.
for $15 billion.
Wow.
So that's a lot of money. And we're going to try to unpack what that could mean for investors like you.
Right.
We'll be using an article from the Motley Fool to help guide this conversation.
Yeah.
So if you're at all interested in pharmaceutical stocks or the weight loss market, then this is the deep dive for you.
Yeah, it's a really interesting development, isn't it? When a company buys back their stock,
Right.
it's usually a signal that they think the stock is undervalued.
Hmm.
So it's like putting their money where their mouth is.
Right. So it's a big vote of confidence from Eli Lilly themselves.
Exactly.
So tell me a little bit about what happened on December 9th.
Sure. So on December 9th, Eli Lilly's board approved this massive $15 billion stock buyback program.
Okay.
And, what's interesting is their CFO emphasized that this buyback doesn't mean they're neglecting other important areas.
Right.
Like new product launches and R&D,
Right.
research and development.
Yeah. So they're still going to be working on new things.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're saying that their current growth is strong enough that they can return capital to shareholders
Okay.
while still investing in the future.
Wow. That's great to hear. I mean, that sounds really promising for investors.
It does.
So what exactly is driving this growth? What allows them to buy back stock so aggressively?
Well, one word, weight loss.
Weight loss?
Their medications, Mounjaro and Zepbound, have been incredibly successful.
Yeah. I mean, those are really all over the news these days. Those are very popular.
They are.
Yeah.
And these drugs work by mimicking a hormone called GLP-1.
GLP-1.
Which helps regulate appetite and blood sugar.
Oh, I see.
So it's really helping people manage their weight and also their blood sugar levels.
Right. So it's addressing a huge problem in society.
It is.
Mhm.
And the Motley Fool article suggests that Eli Lilly is just scratching the surface of this market's potential.
Wow. So even with all the buzz that's out there already, they think that they're just getting started.
That's what it seems like.
Wow.
And they're making smart moves to expand their reach. For example, they partnered with Ro.
Bro.
It's a telehealth platform
Okay.
to distribute Zepbound.
Okay.
And this partnership makes the medication more accessible and affordable to a wider audience.
Right. So opening it up to a lot more people.
Exactly.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's a smart move.
Yeah.
If more people have access to it, they're obviously going to increase their sales.
Right.
So tell me a little bit more about the science behind this.
Sure.
Can you unpack these GLP-1 drugs a little bit more?
Yeah. So what's really intriguing is that JP Morgan research suggests that these drugs might have applications beyond just weight loss.
Really?
Potentially, they could be used to treat conditions like sleep apnea,
Wow.
arthritis, even Alzheimer's.
Oh, wow.
So
That's amazing.
they could be really groundbreaking.
It could be a game changer if they could treat Alzheimer's with this. That would be incredible.
It would.
And it seems like Eli Lilly is betting big on the future of these drugs.
They are. They are investing heavily in expanding their manufacturing capacity
Okay.
to keep up with this, increasing demand.
Right.
It's a clear indication of their confidence in the long-term potential of these medications.
Okay, so weight loss is not their only area of focus, though, right?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
They've also had some recent breakthroughs in other areas, like Alzheimer's and eczema. For example, their new Alzheimer's drug,
Okay.
Kisunla,
Kisunla.
just received FDA approval.
Okay, that's huge.
It is.
Isn't Alzheimer's a notoriously difficult market to kind of crack?
It is. It really is.
Yeah.
The market is fragmented. There's no clear leader.
Right.
But with this new drug, Eli Lilly gains a foothold in a market that's predicted to be worth nearly $31 billion by 2030.
$31 billion by 2030.
That's right.
Wow, so that is a huge market.
It is.
What about their eczema treatment?
So their new injectable eczema drug, Ebglyss. It's interesting because it offers an alternative in a market dominated by topical treatments. Most eczema medications are creams or ointments.
Right.
So an injectable drug offers a different approach for patients who are looking for other options.
Okay, so they're really diversifying their portfolio
Yes.
and exploring all these various treatment avenues.
Absolutely.
This all sounds incredibly promising.
It does.
But as an investor, I'm sure the big question on everyone's mind is Eli Lilly stock a good buy right now?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
It is.
The Motley Fool article uses what's called the PEG ratio
The PEG ratio.
to assess Eli Lilly's valuation.
Okay, so for someone like me who is not a financial expert,
Sure.
can you explain what the PEG ratio is and what it means for investors?
Of course. So the PEG ratio stands for price earnings to growth ratio.
Okay.
Think of it like this. Would you rather buy a company that's growing slowly at a high price or a company that's growing rapidly at a bargain?
Right. I'd want the company that's growing rapidly at a bargain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the PEG ratio helps us spot those potential bargains.
Okay, I see.
So a lower PEG ratio could indicate a potentially undervalued stock.
Okay, so if it's a 1-to-1, then it's...
A PEG ratio of 1 means the stock's price is in line with its expected growth rate.
Right.
Anything below 1 suggests it might be undervalued.
Okay, so a lower PEG ratio is better.
Generally speaking, yes.
All right, so what's Eli Lilly's PEG ratio looking like?
Right now, it's sitting at 0.74.
0.74.
Based on that, it seems like the stock might be potentially undervalued.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I imagine valuing a company like Eli Lilly is pretty complex, though.
It is.
There's probably more to it than just one single ratio, right?
You're absolutely right. There's a lot more to consider.
Yeah.
After all, they're in this phase of rapid growth,
Right.
and these new markets they're entering are still developing.
Right, so there are lots of unknowns right now and factors to consider.
Exactly. It's not a simple equation.
Right.
We need to look at the bigger picture.
Okay, so that sounds like a great place to pick things up in part 2.
That's good.
We'll explore that bigger picture and delve deeper into the complexities of Eli Lilly's valuation and what it could mean for investors like you. So stay with us.
So as we were saying, while that PEG ratio gives us a starting point,
Right.
there's more to consider when we're thinking about, Eli Lilly.
Okay.
For instance, the pharmaceutical industry as a whole.
Yeah.
It comes with a certain level of risk.
Right. You've got clinical trials.
Yeah.
And FDA approval. And then, of course, there are potential side effects.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's probably not the best industry for people who don't like risk.
It's not for the faint of heart, that's for sure.
Right.
And then, on top of that, we have to think about the competitive landscape.
Okay.
Eli Lilly is not the only player vying for market share.
Right.
In these areas with all this potential.
Right. So that competition is going to impact pricing and profitability for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it seems like a pretty high stakes game.
It is.
With a lot riding on each decision.
A lot riding on each decision.
So how can an investor like myself navigate all this complexity?
Well, I think, looking beyond just the numbers and considering the broader context is key.
Okay.
For example, we know that the demand for weight loss solutions is only going to increase.
Right. Yeah. With obesity rates rising globally, I mean, it's a huge problem.
It's a huge problem.
Yeah.
And it's only getting bigger. So the need for effective treatments is becoming more and more urgent.
It's a huge market for sure.
It is a huge market.
Yeah.
And Eli Lilly is really well positioned to benefit from this trend. They're already a leader in the GLP-1 market.
Right.
And those investments they're making in manufacturing suggest that they're prepared for this continued growth.
Right. And then you mentioned those additional applications for GLP-1 drugs.
Yes.
Like treating sleep apnea or Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
If those are successful, I mean, that could be huge.
That could be a turning point.
Absolutely.
Not just for Eli Lilly, but also for, the millions of people who are suffering from these conditions.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
It would.
So it seems like it's important to keep an eye on their research and development then?
Absolutely. Companies who are actively innovating and exploring new therapeutic areas.
Okay.
They're the ones that are more likely to be successful in the long run.
So it's not just about what they're selling today.
It's not just about today.
But what they could be selling in the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What are they going to be bringing to market tomorrow?
Right. Okay, so
No.
that's one thing to keep in mind.
That's one thing.
What else?
Another crucial factor is, the company's financial health.
Okay.
Are they financially stable?
Right?
Do they have a strong balance sheet?
Yeah.
Are their profits consistent?
So it's all about due diligence.
It is.
Making sure that the company has a solid foundation.
Precisely.
Okay.
And then finally, never underestimate the importance of management quality.
Okay.
Are they making smart strategic decisions? Are they transparent with their investors?
Yeah. You've got to be able to trust the people that are running the company.
You do. You're putting your faith in the leadership team
Right.
to guide the company in the right direction.
Exactly.
So, while Eli Lilly's $15 billion stock buyback
Right.
is a strong signal from management,
Right.
and the company has a lot going for it,
Yeah.
it's really crucial to weigh all these factors before making any investment decisions.
So it's not a guaranteed slam dunk.
It's not a guarantee.
Yeah. Okay, but it sounds promising.
It's definitely worth considering.
Yeah. And of course, investing always involves risk.
Always.
So do your research, consult with a financial advisor,
Yeah.
and never invest more than you can afford to lose.
Wise words.
Right. So now I'm curious, what stands out to you most about Eli Lilly? What aspects of their business or their stock really pique your interest?
Yeah, take a moment to think about what we've talked about
Okay.
and how it might align with your personal investment goals. We'll be back in just a moment to wrap up this deep dive on Eli Lilly.
Okay, so let's bring it all together. We talked about the stock buyback,
Right?
their success with these weight loss drugs, and then their new ventures into Alzheimer's and eczema.
Uh-huh.
Eli Lilly is really making some moves in the pharmaceutical world.
They are, and what I think is so fascinating about this
Yeah.
is they're not just, reacting to current trends.
Right.
I think they're actually shaping the future of healthcare.
Yeah, I agree. And it leads to a really interesting question for all of our listeners out there. Do you think the potential of these GLP-1 drugs beyond just weight loss
Yeah.
makes Eli Lilly a really attractive long-term investment?
If these drugs prove effective in treating a wider range of conditions,
Right.
it could really change how we think about healthcare.
Yeah.
Imagine a future where chronic diseases are managed better
Right.
and people can live longer, healthier lives.
It's a very exciting prospect.
It is.
And Eli Lilly could be leading the way.
It's certainly possible. But of course,
Yeah.
we have to remember that this is still a developing field,
Of course.
and there's always some risk,
Right.
with any investment.
That's a good point. Investing always comes with some level of risk, but sometimes the most rewarding opportunities are the ones that have a little bit of calculated risk.
That's true.
So we encourage you to do your own research,
Yes.
see if Eli Lilly aligns with your investment strategy.
Absolutely.
We've really just scratched the surface here today
Yeah, this is just a starting point.
of what's possible with the pharmaceutical market and, especially what Eli Lilly is doing. So
Okay.
thank you for joining us on this deep dive
It's been a pleasure.
into Eli Lilly. We look forward to exploring more fascinating topics with you next time.